rowdy students breathe down your neck. That is the block party.
Hudson finishes off Kentucky.
Purdue gets to celebrate. They take down number 3.
And the Boilers have done it. They advance to the Sweet 16 for the 5th time.
Welcome back to the Dig City Podcast. I'm Corey Palm. He's head coach Dave Shondell, and it is episode 1 of season 6. It's kind of hard to believe, Coach, that we are 6 seasons into this thing. And
Dig City, baby.
Dig City still going strong. We got a lot to talk about today. Got a lot of fun stuff. We are, there's been some big announcements this week. There's some roster additions we want to talk about before the season gets underway soon. But first off the top is an alum that I know you couldn't be prouder of. Her face adorns the walls in the offices. She's got a banner over at Holloway, and she is lighting the Olympics on fire right now. Annie Drews, really a huge cog in Team USA there as they push for a second straight gold medal.
Well, the Olympic team, the national team, is playing very well right now, and they've been really struggling going into the tournament. They had a lot of injuries, and a lot of people were just wondering, can this team pull it together? Can they get healthy in time, and can they make a run at a medal? Not the gold medal, just make a run at a medal. And I still think that's where we are right now. It just would be incredible if they could get on a medal stand. But so far, they've played very, very well. They lost a really close match to China. China had more people healthy than anybody was going to imagine, and China was really impressive, looked as good as anybody so far. And then Serbia, who had won the last 2 world championships and has maybe the best single player in the world, and yet we found a way to win that one. And I think the key to that was that the 5th set obviously only played to 15. Substitutions are different in international play. You can't sub nearly as much, but you can get a double sub in there. And what happened is when Annie goes the back row, Jordan Thompson came in and Hancock came in to set, and so they still had a horse in the front row on the right side for almost every single rotation in that 15-point game, and I thought that was a big difference maker, and I think they're starting to play with confidence. A couple new kids came off the bench, Plummer and Skinner, and I thought they played very, very well in their first Olympics and have given us some pop, some arms on the outside that we seem to just be missing early on against China. But I think we can play better. I think our setters can settle down and smooth out a little bit. I think as these 2 left side hitters that have come in, again, Plummer and Skinner, get more comfortable passing the ball, keep us in system, then things will get better. But I'm encouraged right now. I hate to say that, but I'm encouraged. I'm excited. And Annie has been playing out of her mind.
Yes.
She is just, Annie Drews is playing as well as anybody could ever ask for. And, her arm is just, as I mentioned back when she played here, she has a bionic arm. And it's a funky arm. It's really hard to read and hard to figure out where she's hitting it, but she's going to hit it hard. Mm-hmm. She's hitting it hard somewhere, and she's playing with great confidence. This is her last Olympics. She's made that pretty clear. She will continue to play professionally after this, but she's going to wrap up the international play with these Olympics, and I just hope that she goes out in a real big way.
Me too. And without any knowledge beyond Annie's future plans, you look at this squad and it's a very veteran team. There's probably quite a few ladies who are playing in their last Olympics, and I got to think it means a little bit more because of that. And there's been some changing of the guard, but I figure by 28 in Los Angeles we're going to see a very different team.
Yeah, I'm sure that we will. And right now, there's never been more great volleyball players in our country than there is right now. A lot of them are very, very young. And who knows, we might have another Boilermaker ready to step in by then to do some things to help the national team.
Definitely a couple names that jump to the front of mind, and they'll stay there for now. You all know who we're talking about, I'm sure. Annie, like you said, 26 kills against China. She had 15 more against Serbia. They didn't ask as much from her against Serbia, but there were moments in that China match where she absolutely carried the offense through.
And she did. And then to see her in the 5th set when they needed points, everybody in the world, everybody watching those matches knew where the ball was going. It was either one left-hander for the USA or the left-hander for Serbia, and you know where it's going, but can you stop them? And neither one of them could really be stopped. We just got a few more swings and dug a few more balls, as a matter of fact. Arantes, the libero out of Nebraska, just phenomenal, just playing great volleyball. And she's been so steady in the last couple of years. She has just emerged as maybe the best libero in the entire world, and that's what we needed. You got to dig balls to give yourself a chance. And for a while against China, I thought defensively we were just poor. We weren't blocking anybody, we weren't digging anybody, and that allowed China to really get rolling. I thought against Serbia we were making more defensive plays. The middle blockers did a really good job of getting hands on the ball, and backcourt dug some balls. So I think we're in a good position right now. We have France coming up in another day, not tomorrow, but the next day. We get some time to rest, and then we're pretty much assured of getting into the playoffs. It's an 8-team playoff. It's just a matter of who you're going to be matched up with when you get there.
Got to get that draw.
Right.
Get a result against France and get that draw. Last thing on the Olympics, I watch it as a fan.
Right.
What's your viewing experience like as a coach? Obviously you see the game a lot differently than most of us, but are you able to enjoy it? Do you get a little bit too invested? You know what I'm trying to say? Is it tough to watch?
It's a lot different when Annie's playing than when she's not. Because I just want so much for her to perform and have a great experience. And certainly I know a lot of those. I mean, it's a Big Ten all-star team, basically. And so all those people I'm very familiar with and have so much respect for, all of them. And you know how hard they worked and how much they've invested in their lives to get where they are, not to mention just what great athletes, incredible athletes that they are. But I watch and I try to figure out what I would do if I was in the shoes of those coaches and what adjustments you make. I try to learn a few things. What are they doing that we can add to our situation here? I try to watch. I've been watching nonstop volleyball, whether it's the men or the women. Some sand volleyball, but mostly the indoor 6-on-6 that can apply to what we're doing here, and how can we take some of those things and continue. We've actually taken a lot from the men's national team, how they like to run their backcourt, and they have a tremendous coach, John Sperrar, who's also the coach at UCLA, and I've had many conversations with him about how they run their backcourt and what the expectations are, and how demanding he is that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that's a very effective offense, and I think that we're going to run backcourt offense probably more than anybody in the country this fall with the people we have that we'll put on the floor.
That sounds great. Can't wait to see how that those little nuggets translate. That's always fun.
Yeah.
I know. I said that was the last thing about the Olympics. I've actually got a question that came to us from a viewer, a suggested topic for us that I'll get to in the second half of the show. We'll come back. We'll circle.
That's
back
a teaser?
It's a teaser.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta get you stick through the commercial break, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But let's move on for now to this year's Boilermaker squad as it has rounded into shape this summer, rounded into form, I should say. The roster with one late addition you're pretty excited about.
We really are. We have another Raven. Raven Gray is a transfer. She was at Winston-Salem State University, which is, by the way, a Division II. And you wonder, well, how can a Division II player have the capability of playing at the highest level of the Big Ten? And we think she does. We got in a situation where we've had a couple medical issues that forced our hand a little bit, and we needed to bring in a player that was going to provide great depth for us and also give us an opportunity to put another great arm on the floor as needed. And Raven was very impressive on the tape that I've watched. She has a younger sister that we were somewhat recruiting. She ended up, going somewhere else, committing somewhere else. But while watching her, we were able to see her sister, who was in the gym at the same time, and that helped us a little bit, knowing that she was out there. That when we did get into a little bit of a pickle with our roster, we reached out to her, and in about 24 hours, we had a commitment from her to come to Purdue.
That's great.
And play for us. And since she's been here, our players like her. She's very mature. She's very intelligent. She's going to go to medical. In next spring, she'll be at Baylor in medical school.
Okay.
Wow. She's took one class online. I think she got it done in 48 hours. She's just a brilliant kid. I may be stretching that, but that's my understanding. and just brings maturity and seriousness and toughness. And she's here for a reason, to finish her college career on a great note. And so I'm excited about her. I think our fans are going to like her. She's a high flyer. She's about 6 foot half inch, long arms, big hands. I know she jumps well. And so I think she's somebody that we can count on to be able to step in and help us as needed.
That's all you can ask for, especially with, like you said, a necessity, ad in July. I mean, goodness sakes.
Well, the portal was pretty much bare bones at that point. Anybody that was a projected Big Ten transfer was gone, or a high-level transfer, not just Big Ten. There's a lot of good conferences out there, by the way, as we're going to find out this fall. But we were thrilled when she said she wanted to come here and be a Boilermaker. Our staff was very excited about it because it was exactly what we needed at the time.
Raven Gray, first team all conference last year, led her conference in points and kills. So we look forward to seeing how she blends with the crew.
Well, she's blending very well so far.
Good.
And again, the thing she's bringing is bringing a little bit of age and maturity on a team that's still pretty young. We talked last year, we were probably the youngest Power 5 conference team out there. There's no more Power 5 now. I think it's the, what are they calling it? Something 4, the Autonomy 4, because everybody's supposedly together. As it sounds. So, but anyway, we're ready to move forward and see what happens with this roster, and we're getting very close to go time.
We are closing in on about a week to the beginning of camp. Got a very cool event coming up early next week with Big Ten Media Days. We'll talk about that a little bit.
I didn't know what you were talking about for a minute.
There's so much excitement going on.
A lot going on that we can feel good about.
The most exciting thing this week, I think, is the announcement of the 2 Mackey matches. And we'll play October 19th against Indiana on a Saturday night, and then a week later on the 26th of October against Wisconsin. I know there's been a lot of work behind the scenes and a lot of conversations spanning months to get this lined up. Just sort of your overall feeling regarding the news.
I'm elated about it. It's a little bit of a stretch when you go from the friendly confines of Holloway Gym, where we play really, really well and are very hard to beat, to go into Mackey Arena. But the thought process was really pretty simple. We owe it to our fans. We owe it to our players to have that kind of an experience, to play in front of 14,000 people. We owe it to the sport to continue to help grow America's game, as I like to refer to it. Holyoke, Massachusetts, 1895. William B. Morgan started this game, and unfortunately, internationally, it took off faster than it did here in our country. Now we're catching up, and every indication is that United States is ready for women's volleyball, or volleyball in general. So, but mostly we had so many Purdue faithful that could not get a ticket to watch our team play. And I think it's our responsibility to give them that chance. And we've got this unbelievable facility called Mackey Arena. No better place in the world to compete in. And I go in there and watch our basketball teams play night after night, and I think, why aren't we playing some matches in here? And so, fortunately, logistically, it worked out that a couple of these matches could come in play. I think at a time right now when every athletic department needs more funding. I mean, it is absolutely crunch time for athletic departments. Why not see if we can't help the cause by playing some matches in Mackey and see what that evolves into? And maybe will always be just a couple matches, and we'll play many over there. But when you look across the landscape at the Big Ten, there are more and more schools that are playing in the bigger venues. They're trying to find ways to get. I mean, Ohio State's going to play a game in, what's it called?
The Schott Center.
And they're going to try to break some kind of a record. They got maybe the best venue in the country as far as to play volleyball in, but they're going to play one here. Michigan's playing, I think, 10 or 12 of their matches in their basketball venue. Michigan State plays all their home matches in their basketball venue. All 4 of the schools that are coming in from the Pac-12, they play in a basketball venue. So I just felt like, and again, you don't have, just because they're doing it doesn't mean you need to do it. I mean, we've got a beautiful place to play that we love Holloway Gym. But I felt like it was time, and I think that when you've got so many people that our fans love to watch play, a team that we have, and you've got some local flavor too.
Sure.
You know, you got Raven Colvin, who'll be a senior. You got Eva Hudson, you know, whose mom played here and is out of Fort Wayne. That's a junior, and then the homegrown Chloe Chacoin. Not to mention, you know, Allie Horning from the state and others from the state. But it just seemed like the right time for me, you know, to kind of be a little aggressive with our administration and our facilities people and say, let's make this happen. And originally it came back with one, and I said, I don't get it. I said, let's help me understand this. And there was some confusion on what we really needed to make it work. And then after talking, and Tiffany Grimes was awesome with me, and I said, this is all we need. And she said, okay, well, I think we can make that work with both those matches. And so that's where we're starting. And it won't work unless we, in my opinion, it doesn't work unless we sell out both those matches.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take for us to feel like this is a success.
Yeah.
And two wins.
Two wins for sure. That'll keep them coming back. But you mentioned, you know, the financials. Holloway Gym, we love Holloway Gym for reasons beyond anyone's control, and you know, the physical makeup of it is $2,500. That's the cap. That has to be the limit. You put 14,000 people in Mackey. That is the equivalent of 6.
Do the math on that.
Holloway, I've been doing that in my head. I'm not great, but I can do some.
But we've got to make it happen, and our Boilermaker Nation has to. You know, they have to show up for this. You know, and I don't know why they would not. It's just perfect timing. Great, the two best matches, I think. You know, you're playing your in-state rival Indiana, who is going to be really, really good this year. It's going to be the best team Indiana may have had in the last 15 years. So they're going to be locked and loaded. And then Wisconsin, who, by the way, I picked as the number one team in the Big Ten this year, just barely nudging out Nebraska. And I think that poll comes out sometime today, as a matter of fact. And I'll probably be wrong. I think more coaches will probably put Nebraska, because they won the league last year and beat Wisconsin 15 to, or maybe it was 16-14 in the fifth. They're both really good. But Wisconsin has become a little bit of a rival here. We've you know had some success against them, beat them here last year when they were ranked second or third in the country. So that will be a lot of fun. But we're going to need our people. It's just that simple. And like you say, I think it will happen, but it's going to take a lot of work from a lot of people. Has there been a more exciting time for Purdue volleyball?
I don't think so. And you mentioned Matt.
Maybe we have to ask Carol Dewey that question.
Yeah,
you know, Carol
probably.
might be able to go back and think of a more exciting time when this whole thing was starting to unfold. But for my career, I just can't. So much TV, so much interest, people beating the doors down to get tickets, the talent that we've got, the competitive spirit that this team has, the new teams coming into the Big Ten, more in the media day in its third year, and going strong. And it's just a great time, and I just know that our fans will do what they need to do to support this team.
When do tickets go on sale for the Mackey matches? And for
I think John Purdue Club members can get them on August 6th. Okay. And I think, according to Rachel Coe, our top-notch social media and communications person, that will all be out in detail on how to go about doing that, who to call, who to write, all those kind of things. And then for non-John Purdue Club members on August 7th, they come out. And my plea would be to our fans, let's not have a lot of red in the building.
Yeah.
I mean, this is for our fans. We're doing this for our fans. We're not doing this for the fans from Indiana or Wisconsin, although I'm sure that we'll have a fair share, and those are really good people, just like everyone else in our league. But this needs to be black and gold only, and we need to sell every seat.
Yeah, the challenge been thrown out. We gotta meet it this time around. We're gonna step aside real quick. We'll be back with the things that we teased after the break. The Dig City Podcast is brought to you by Franciscan Health, the official medical provider of Purdue Athletics. At Franciscan, we are inspiring health. Now back to the show. Thanks again to the friends at Franciscan for all of their support of Dig City and Purdue Athletics in general. Coach, third year of Big Ten Media Day next week. Like you said, we go up Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday. We go up Monday night for the dinner.
Yep.
All 18 teams and some administrators and coaches and 2 representatives that will be there. We'll all meet on a rooftop restaurant like we did last year, which was a lot of fun. It's always great to see people before the season starts.
Yeah, for real. When you can still be friends.
Yeah, and just kind of get a lay of the land a little bit. But that will be a lot of fun. And then we're with a group of 9 teams that will be at the Big Ten headquarters on Tuesday. So that's when we'll have our conversations with a big group of people that will be there. Media is definitely showing up. It'd be great to even see you up there.
Yeah.
If you can make it up there. You should be there.
I should be there. You just do the gauntlet out of me. So we're all in this together.
Yeah.
It's an awesome day for so many reasons. It's great that the sport, the teams, the student athletes and coaches get your due, get treated as you should be, as a really important entity in a really important sport to the network, to the conference, to each individual school. But some of the things that you get to do and that your players get to do, it just takes everything to the next level. Interviews and press conferences, and now you're live on set, and you're doing, these talks with Mike Hall or Megan McEwen or Dave Refson, whoever it is.
Rick Pizzo.
Rick Pizzo makes it all feel special, which is where the sport is.
It is in the Big Ten. That's where the sport is in the Big Ten, and you have to thank the Big Ten Conference, the leadership at the top, all the way through the Big Ten Network, who was really the driving force behind this, that they said, why aren't we doing this for volleyball? The sport's blowing up. We have this incredible conference with a lot of high-profile individuals, and the first year they did it, it was like, I couldn't believe what a first-class event it was, and it's only gotten better. And now, like I said, we're going to have more people with the addition of UCLA and USC and Washington and Oregon. But there's a reason why those schools wanted to come to the Big Ten. There's a reason almost every school wants to be in the Big Ten. Is because they treat all their athletes with incredible respect, and you have the Big Ten Network, which has been, to me, has been the driving force behind a lot of the success of the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, I agree. Not only the network having access to this inventory of all of these games, but recognizing their value and really putting them out there on a national stage week in and week out.
And I can speak for all of our coaches. We are so appreciative of this opportunity and what it means for our conference, and it helps with everything from recruiting to your fan base and everything. So I hope a lot of our fans will tune in to both days and hear what the coaches and players have to say about what might happen this year in the Big Ten.
2 student athletes going up, in addition to yourself, Lourdes Myers, Chloe Chacoin will be representing the old gold and black. You mentioned Rachel Koa earlier, our crack communications staffer. She pulled me into this actually last week, and we did some media training with those 2 ladies just to sort of get them ready for what that day is going to be.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and you want to go out there not blinded by the lights, as it were.
Yeah, so I appreciate your help with that. They'll be fine. They'll do great. They're Lourdes is a really sweet gal that plays with a chip on her shoulder, which I really like. I like all of our players to play with a chip on their shoulders, to be honest with you. That's the Purdue way. But she will be really, really good. I'm looking forward to her embracing this experience. She's worked so hard and paid her dues to be in this position. And Chloe Chacoin is just a natural. She's been a huge addition to our program and continues to make us better in a lot of ways, as does Lourdes.
Definitely. You'll get a kick out of this. I think everyone will. We videotaped the sessions, and with Chloe's, we had the camera there just to get used to the camera.
Yeah.
With Lourdes, she's like, can I get a copy of that afterwards? I'm like, you like film studies? She's like, I love it. I'm going to go home and watch this. I'm going to watch it with my mom. I'm going to tear it apart. We're going to figure out what's good. I'm like, love it. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, she does care about who she is. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So Big Ten Media Day. That's not the only big thing going on next week. players report and practice starts. We're not going to delve too deeply into that, but
No, we come in, players get back. I mean, they've been here almost all summer.
true.
Now, the majority of them are gone right now for this week. We give them a little bit of reprieve from the weight room and open gym and spend a lot of time together. And then Wednesday, we have meetings pretty much all day long. They've got to do a lot of introductory things and catching up on a lot of different things. But that will be on Wednesday. And then Thursday, the first starts to fly. And, this team, and I know we don't want to talk too much about this team because we'll be doing that another week.
Yep.
But we don't have incredible depth. We have, I think, 15, 16 on our roster, which is a good number.
Mm-hmm.
But in the front row, we're going to have to make sure we don't overdo it in training. And so I've been spending a lot of time and talking with our other coaches. How can we most efficiently become great without overdoing it in the gym? And a lot of coaches find the best way to do that is to outwork people. Well, we just have to be more efficient because we have tried to outwork people a lot. But this year it's going to have to be how can you efficiently outperform people in practice to develop those skills to give your players a chance to beat anybody that's on our schedule.
It's a great point. That has been a luxury for the most part. In the last 2 or 3 years, you've had amazing depth with with COVID years coming to play and some players being able to stay a little extra. You've had that depth to really rely on to sort of see it go back to normal, kind of with from a depth standpoint. It'll just be an adjustment, and I'm sure you'll do just fine as coaching staff figuring that out.
I'm not worried about it, but we just need to make sure we're smart about how we train.
Yeah, constantly evolving. We talked about a viewer question, and keep these coming. If you see something or think of something that you'd like to bring up on the show, we'll pick through the best.
Now, we're not live, right?
This
is a question that came in somewhere in the last...
this is a question that came in July 30th. Eddie Bajak, who actually, we know Eddie.
He's living down in Florida somewhere.
Former student worker, actually, very close.
And a proud member of the block party as well.
Yep, indeed. Eddie wants to know, going back to the Olympics, he tweeted at me, possible Dig City discussion point. The Olympic challenge system seems to have been miles better than the NCAA. How close are we to getting Hawkeye on the lines?
It's miles more expensive.
It is.
As well.
And that's the answer to Eddie's question, but he wants to know how realistic would it be to get the Hawkeye on the lines and the high-speed cameras at the net?
Well, it does eliminate lines judges, which I don't know if that's good or bad news. I mean, it depends on if you're a lines judge or not, I guess. But the Olympics and international play uses this incredible video challenge camera that they don't even need to have a lines judge anymore because they can show exactly where that ball hits the ground, whether it's inside the line or outside the line or on the line. And it's one of the most enjoyable things to watch sometimes is how effective that is.
Yeah.
And but the discussion has been had, believe it or not, with our coaches at the Big Ten end of the year meetings about how quickly can we get to there. Well, the system we're using now is still a pretty good system. It was the best that was out there for a long time. That was affordable, within reason. And there was like a 4-year contract with this that we just recently signed. And now, question is can they improve their system well enough, or do we just find a way to bite the bullet and move on to something better? But I don't think anything's going to happen real soon. Our system's much better than it was 2 or 3 years ago. But it's not like what we're seeing in the Olympics.
Right.
That's just incredible. I mean, if you touch a ball, if you're blocking and you touch it, you might as well just say I touched it because it's going to be visible on there. So it's pretty neat. I've enjoyed that for sure.
It has been fun.
Great question by Eddie.
It is. When you think of the logistics of it, then all of the volleyball matches are being played in one venue. The Olympics have a substantial budget for these kinds of things.
Yeah.
They mount those cameras one time. They don't have to move.
And for us, it would be for the Big Ten to do it. It's 18 facilities putting all those new cameras in there, and it's just, I mean, now with all the rest of the money we're having to spend for other things as well, that's a tall order.
Great question, Eddie. Keep them coming, folks. You can hit us up on Twitter or however you socialize your media. Wherever you hang out, wherever you watch Dig City, throw us a question and we'll see if we can get it on the show. Coach, any final thoughts this final week before the season really gets going?
We're just excited to get started. We have a few more days of practice this year than we have had in the past, just the way the calendar broke down. So we'll get that time in the gym, and we have a little more experienced team this year. Basically, we return a lot of starters. We lost Skimmerhorn, that played a lot for us over the last 5 years, but Allie Horning has had a great spring. Ryan McAleer is a young kid that came out of Kansas City that was here in the springtime for us, came early, showed some signs of brilliance. So our backcourt, Julia Kane, Rachel Williams, and then Sienna Foster, who came in this summer. We feel like we're going to be able to fill those gaps. And keep in mind, Chloe and Eva never leave the floor.
Right.
So they're also passing and defending all the time too. So now I just want to get started. This is a season that a lot of people have been looking forward to and waiting on this opportunity to see what we can do. And I'm guessing we're going to be picked in the top 5 in the Big Ten. Selection doesn't mean a whole lot because I don't think they've ever gotten our situation right when the coaches or media have tried to pick things. So basically it's what do you do with what you got and how tough can you be and how do your bodies hold up, and again, can you put competitors on the floor?
Looking forward to it. If you need your fix next week, we'll check out Big Ten Media Days. We'll have information in future shows about the upcoming exhibitions, and we start the season just a little over 4 weeks from now with Kansas State coming in.
Great way to start.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas State should be a top 25 team because they will be a top 25 team. I'm not sure when the preseason poll comes out whether or not coaches, the 60 coaches that vote, will be privy to how good that team's going to be. We will be, and that's why we're putting them on the docket first, because I want to have our team thinking about them all preseason.
Makes sense. Coach, we'll leave it there for now. We'll catch back up with you next week.
Thank you, and again, August 6th or 7th is when those tickets come on sale for individual games, and that does include the 2 Mackey matches. The first one on the 19th, is that right? 19th against Indiana, and the 26th then
26th
against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And the goal is sellouts in Mackey Arena, and we hope that you'll be with us. Boiler up.
Boiler up.